my computer. We'll record it so that way you guys can share it with your teams and your downlines. Thank you guys so much for joining me on our very first team call in 2019. Woohoo! How awesome is that like our very first team call is on January 1st. I just think that is so awesome. Something about like a renewing and transforming and all the goal setting and all the everything. And I get to start by seeing your guys' faces. And I'm so thankful that you guys are all able to make it. All right, let me screen share here because I have a pretty presentation. I gave you guys a little sneak peek of it. And I want to show you guys something because this is what I use when I create presentations. And Canva is so awesome that they just keep getting better and better. So if you guys ever need to create something, just wanted to show you that now they have this presentation slide. I can even change like how it's going to look. And then you can just share it right from Canva. You don't even have to download this thing to your computer anymore and take up space on your computer. Canva automatically saves everything that you create. So I can go in here and edit it. And I did not proof it. So I was going to have my mom help me do that, and she went and made some tea earlier. So we don't have it proofed because we all know that I'm not the greatest speller or vocabulary person in the world. But I do have a really cool topic for you guys tonight. So thank you so much for joining. All right.
I just saw something that you should have proved.
I'm sure you did.
You spelled your sister's name wrong.
Oh, I was typing so fast. Okay. Here we go. So today's topic is becoming a centered leader. And I'll be honest that this topic is for myself. And so I vowed in one of my goals this year, as anything and everything that I'm learning, I've got to find a way to pass that down to you guys and keep you on the same page as me. I only need to be like a step ahead of you. I only need to be one step ahead of you, not 10, not 20 giant leaps. And so I want to find a better way of leading you guys. And so I've focused the last month and a half on personal development, podcasts, and things like that, just on leadership. A couple of the books my husband had to actually read for his new job. And so I pulled those out too. And this topic came more from like God convicting my heart on my leadership. And so whenever we go through this, this is something that I'm telling myself as much as I am sharing it with you. And so as everyone in this call is a leader, no matter if you have a team, whether you're a parent, whether you have a job and you have someone that works beside you at your desk, or it doesn't matter. Like every single person is called to lead or disciple, however you want to call it. Okay. So just because you don't have a team like Jill or I or my mom doesn't mean that this call is not for you and that God can't share something insight with you through this call. All right. So next up. Oh my gosh, isn't that so cool? I am so impressed with this. Okay, so congratulations to those of you who completed 25 days of Fitmas with all of us. Some of you are running your own groups in December, but way to finish the year strong, just committed to working out and eating well and getting other people involved. So if you're one of those people that did more in December this year than you did December last year, I can raise my hand. I'm proud of myself for making my health a more of a priority in December than all the hustle bustle. So, and then I wanted to congratulate those of you who are committed to Transform 20. Some of you are even in the coach test group. I know Jacqueline and Lori are both on this call, and they sold their very first challenge pack last month or the month before, just in order so that they could guarantee that they'd get that step and that they would be in that coach test group. So I'm really proud of you guys for making that happen. And then I want to thank all of those of you that were doing the vision board party with us. That has been like, I want to cry when I think about the vulnerability and the people that are opening up and sharing their struggles and their insecurities and the things that really have held them back for so long. And I know for sure, like Lori has shared with me, that she just feels so free because she's never shared that part of her story before. She's never thought to really step outside that comfort zone and do something more with it. And the girl reads a new personal development book every month. And Jacqueline just finished reading Shaun T's Transform 20. My mom's over there probably reading a book. I can't see her face right now, but you guys are just blowing me away with being in personal development. And it makes a huge difference no matter where you are in life, right? And so thank you for committing to setting goals for yourself. I know Jill's running her own group. Jennifer also is running her own group. And Cynthia and Jill are running a vision board party or a goal setting group too. So even if you're not in mine, I'm just really proud of you guys for stepping up and taking advantage of that time of year, not only to set your own goals and get clear and focused on them, but also help other people around you. So I know it takes a lot of time and commitment. So way to put yourself out there. And then I also wanted to congratulate those of you that earned Success Club in December. Cynthia Flores helped 3 new challengers. Jennifer Valdez helped 2 new challengers. Stephanie Jackson helped 2. And Stephanie's new coach, Evelyn, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name, also helped 1 new challenger. All right, so let's get into what is a centered leader. And is the picture or is, can you guys see that okay?
It's fine.
Okay. What is a centered leader? A centered leader is guided by values, driven by purpose, obsessed with the mission. They are grounded, they are aware, they are secure, they are consistent. So these are just things that a centered leader is. So if someone was to think of what is a centered leader, these are the top definitions or ways you can describe a centered leader. And we're going to also go into what is not a centered leader. That would help if my thingy would work here. There we go. All right, so uncentered leaders, we're going to focus just a very short period of time on what an uncentered leader is, because I really want to focus on the positive side, not the negative. But I have uncentered leaders are insecure, unpredictable, and self-absorbed. Ouch. All right, so as I was going through this myself and typing this stuff out, it's like, little things will prick your heart. And okay, God, like, it's good to be aware of where I might have gone a little off balance, if we're calling this a centered leader, right? So what happens is you get off balance. And so uncentered leaders come in all different shapes and sizes. And they may or may not even be aware that they're being uncentered. And then something is off balance and you just never feel truly safe. And so when I was doing this exercise, I can see when I'm off centered and when I have been way off center in the past. And now having people, even random people from high school on Facebook, reach out to me and say, I can see a difference in your leadership. I'm like, okay. So this part really hit me because I can see where I've grown, but I also see where I still have room for improvement. Even myself, of having a team since 2013, I've had Team Tenacity, and I've been leading and discipling or fellowshipping and mentoring and coaching people. I still have room for improvement. So they break this down into 3 different ways that someone is uncentered, and that is an annoyingly insecure. And I mean, this is where I went, ouch, like this hurt me because I'm more passive. I'm very needy. I hate conflict. I don't only avoid it, I hate it. And then I have had many areas of my coaching business or my fitness business with lack of direction. And I think everyone has felt at some time a sense of lack of direction. But some are more of a bully. They micromanage people. They want to take over. They're know-it-alls. They want to take credit, or they want to take all the credit, or they want to give all the blame. And then when the leader lacks confidence, the team lacks commitment. So insecure leaders produce insecure followers. And I want you guys to notice whenever I have the pink highlighted there, uncentered leaders always produce unsettled followers. Insecure leaders produce insecure followers. And then the next one is their followers don't know what to expect. So then you're unpredictable. So this is the unpredictable. Their followers don't know what to expect. And I've been there. I've been all over the place as a leader. I see someone else doing one thing, I'll jump and I'll start doing challenge groups based on that. Or Beachbody will come out with a new program. I'm like, oh, I'm all over that. And so sometimes what we can do is not create any consistency or dependability. And so they just don't know what to expect. They don't know which direction you're going to go, or they don't know the direction that you're taking, but they know that direction will change very soon. The focus will change, new project, new focus, new strategy, new solution. And it may encourage you, that leader may encourage you one day and then criticize you the next, or that person might give you freedom one week and then take it back the next. I don't really see that happening in our team culture or anything like that, where you have someone that's giving you praise and then turning around and telling you're doing it all wrong. We're really good at encouraging each other and building each other up, and giving each other the freedom to be individuals and being authentic to themselves. So I don't think we have to worry about that, but you might see that creep in, just being more aware as you're a leader in the environment that you're in, is to help them know and not be unpredictable with your feelings and emotions, and know when to go. There's times when my life feels like it's falling apart, and that's the last time I need to go and try to build someone else up, because it doesn't feel authentic. Like, it's really, really hard. So I think that's where it would come from me more than anything, is when I'm down and out, my mom will be like, hey, what's wrong? You're really short with me, whenever she's asking a question or needing help. But she's my mom, she can call me out. it's a little different, but that predictability is part of personality too. So unpredictable leaders produce hesitant followers. Then they're hesitant to reach out to you. They're hesitant to approach you. So we don't want that. The next one is self-absorbed. Most self-absorbed people, they don't even know that they're being that way. I'm definitely that type of personality. I can be very self-absorbed at times. And I started my own health and fitness journey because I was very selfishly focused on my own health and fitness journey. And so it normally isn't even something that you're aware of. We don't go around going, yes, I'm very self-absorbed. Thank you very much. But without saying it, it's more like the sense that this is my team. These are my goals, and you're here to help me reach my goals. You only exist to serve my vision and my dreams. And again, I don't think that we have anyone on our team that thinks that way. Now, I will be honest, that's what I fear as a leader. I fear that the people that join me will do something out of obligation to help me. And so I'm always making sure that people are doing this for you. You have to work on your health and fitness for you. You've got to come to Summit for you. You've got to buy Transform 20 for yourself. Like, I don't want it to be about anything other than you taking care of yourself. So we just want to make sure that this doesn't happen, because self-absorbed leaders produce resentful followers. And I have had resentful followers. I've had people send me hate mail and all of those things. So it always makes me go back and say, okay, are my posts self-absorbed? Are my posts all about me? And sometimes I have had to do that. I'm like, okay, that's not polite. That's not kind. My mom was talking to me about my sister. She's a coach, and she had a coach under her, post something kind of hateful or hurtful on social media. And luckily my sister was able to go, oh, we don't want to portray that type of person. We want to be encouraging, and we don't want to create these resentful followers. Like, who are you to, and again, I don't think that's a problem. I just wanted to go over some of the things that make us uncentered, and so that we can be aware of those hurdles, pitfalls. Centered leaders don't produce followers. Centered leaders produce leaders.
Ooh.
That's what we're really going after, is to help other women step up and be recognize that they are a leader instead of only following. And it's cool that Lori's on here, because I really feel like I can see, I'm going to brag on myself just for a second, which is hard for me to do, but I can see how Lori has stepped up to be a leader. And in a very short period of time, it's going to make me cry. But she's already opened up her own free group. She went live today in her free group. And it was just so awesome to hear her be so excited and so eager to message me and say those things. And she's always been that leader, but for her to step out into being that leader. And so when we are centered in who we are as leaders, we are going to produce other leaders. It's going to happen. And then our focus will be off of trying to find as many followers as we can. And I know that's not what it's about, but I think that's a huge aha moment, because we do everything on social media. So I figured that would kind of speak to you, as followers and likes and comments don't matter as much. All right. So what is that? All right. So thank you for your attention, please. That wasn't supposed to be there. Okay. So centered leaders have inward confidence. They're strategically consistent, and they are mission driven. And this is the fun part. All right. So we are inwardly confident. You might not feel confident. You may feel too young. You may feel too old. But just really think about it. If you're too old, you're too young, well, then like, when is the right age for you to do whatever you feel called to do, right? So a lot of people don't feel confident because of their age, or they feel some kind of insecurity in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you don't have as much experience or enough education. Maybe you don't have the skills. Maybe whatever that insecurity is, that confidence isn't there. We all have a lack of confidence. So it's not just so much having the inwardly confidence, it's finding a way to grow in that confidence. So you might need a skill that you can develop. So Lori today, she's developing that skill. And I told her, you're developing the skill. You're practicing to gain confidence to go live, right? No one just is like, okay, I'm going to get on here and I'm going to do this for the first time and I'm awesome and I rocked it and it's perfect. Like, we all are a beginner at one time or another, and we've all just had to practice until we got better. So you might have to develop skills, and there's so many different books and things like that out there. For me, I needed to become a better listener, so I put that down. I need to be more direct, be able to give direct and honest feedback as a mentor. I need to be one as a mentor, or I might need to get a mentor, right? And so I think the enemy has held me back the most, and not so much the last 2 or 3 years, but in the past as someone newer in something before I have the confidence I do now. So maybe this is the thought you hear. Someone else has done that, so I can't. So there's a lack of confidence because you saw someone else do it or heard someone else do it. And Chalene Johnson made this statement, and it has impacted my life ever since, is if someone else did it, you can do it, and you can do it better. So don't let that lack of confidence creep in and say, oh, someone else is better at that than me. Their only better is they might be a little better because they have a little bit more time in it, and that's about it, right? Another thing that you might need to grow in confidence is to accept your weaknesses. So sometimes we don't recognize our weaknesses. And if you recognize you don't have to be great at all things to be a great leader. That's what it was. All right. So recognize that you don't have to be perfect at everything to be a great leader. And so you might be looking at me or my mom and you say, oh my gosh, how do they do all of that? But you don't see the time that it's taken us to find little ways to work smarter, not harder, right? I know Jill right now is in the middle of trying to find someone to help her create a website and landing pages. Like, she's an incredible leader and she's full of knowledge and she's very smart, but she knows that that's not her strength. That's her weakness, and she would need to step out And it makes her a better leader by knowing when she's got to step out and ask for help and hire someone for that, or ask someone that knows what they're doing in that area where you're weak. So another way to find ways to grow in confidence is you might need to believe differently. You might need to change your belief. So maybe you have a wrong belief about yourself and you're saying, I can't, I'm not, and those are just not true. You are and you can. And so this month, we're going to go into all of these areas that I'm talking about tonight a little deeper. I'm going to go live in our team page a little deeper on each and every one of these things. And one of the things I want to teach you guys, if you don't know how already, is to create daily declarations. That says decorations, but it's supposed to be declarations. All right. So you're going to set daily declarations. And so who I am and what I can do. And those declarations will be something you say over yourself to change what you're saying to yourself so you can change what you believe. And if you guys are in the vision board party and you've been watching those videos for the Rise Up, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're talking about the mindset. We're talking about the power of our words. So you want to be strategically consistent. And this is something that I've grown. I feel like I've really grown a lot in. We're learning to use calendars more. We're learning to just change the flow of how things are so it's more consistent. And I think this is where another thing that pricked my heart a lot as a leader that I personally want to get better at. But great leaders are relentless and boring. And when I heard that, I was like, at least I'm on the right track in some places, because the simpler you can make it, the easier it is for other people around you to have that. They know what to expect, right? So great leaders are relentless, but they're also boring. It doesn't have to be big, huge, spectacular, and something new all the time. Leaders are leaders do consistently what other people's do occasionally. Being consistent brings freedom. And one of the podcasts that I listened to, it was just talking about how whenever there's this strategy is there, then there's more freedom for the team, for you to go think, oh, I have this idea. And then it just gives you that freedom to be like, I know what's going on. There's a strategy here, and they're consistently running challenge groups, or they're consistently doing this. And so it kind of gives you the freedom to open up and say, hey, Janice, could we do this or that? Because you know what's going on. You know what to expect, right? And you know our mission, and you know where we're headed. And that's something we're going to continue to build on this month in those live videos that I'm going to share in the group. But so doing the things that bring results when you're strategic. And so if we are all over the place, which I've been guilty of that, and that's what I'm working on, all over the place, always needing to do something new, needing something better, something different. And I never did that intentionally. I just kind of was following and duplicating what I knew. And so as a leader, I wanted to step outside of that and say, is there a different way to do this? So now I am changing and I am doing things new, but I feel like this is the way that it can be moving forward, so I can help people no matter where they are in their journey of helping other people get healthy and fit. They're going to be more authentic to themselves and feel like they can do this their way, versus thinking, oh my gosh, that's how the training is, that's how it's got to be done. So there's a time and a place for things to be new and different and better. But once you find what works, then do it over and over and over again, and find those rhythms that make your team great. All right. So if you are a part of my team and if you're like, this works, please reach out to me and say, oh my gosh, this flow, this way of doing this or that, it works. And so that our team can, what's that? Okay. So that way our team can see the consistent, he completely sidetracked me. I hope that you guys didn't see him changing his pants back there. Anyway, find what works and do it over and over again, but then look for the rhythms that make your team great. And if you guys see something that makes our team great, tell us, tell me. All right, mission driven. This is my favorite. The mission is why you do what you do. And if you guys don't know why you're doing what you're doing, no matter whether that's in Beachbody world or in work or in your ministry, wherever that is, then I highly recommend that you get the book called Why by Simon. Help me out if you know how to say his last name. Sneak. Anybody? No.
It's Sinek. Simon Sinek.
Thank you.
Yeah, Simon Sinek. Yeah.
Okay, so he has the book called Why.
Start with Why.
Start with Why. Thank you.
He's one of my favorites.
Yes, he is. And he has quite a few little YouTube clips and things like that too. So you can even, if you don't have his book, you can still learn from him because he's got lots of stuff on YouTube videos. So yes, thank you.
All right. So also sorry, I was going to say he also has another leadership book that's great that I've read a couple times called Leaders Eat Last. That's a good one too.
Ooh, I like that. No, I haven't even heard of that one. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So people don't buy into what you do. They buy into why you do it. And that's from Simon. And so another quote that I found was, to love what you do and feel that it matters, how can anything be more fun? And that is what this is about. Finding something that you love to do and making it fun. And whenever it's fun and it matters to the people in the world around you, how can it get any better than that, right? So find or rediscover your why and lose yourself in it. And that's kind of what I've done the last 3 or 4 months. I've been working with Catherine and just changing the way I've been doing things, and just had to sit down and go, okay, really, how do I want to help women? And I had to be very clear and specific on that. And so I'm really excited for 2019 because I think that I've always had my why set on, 4 or 5 years back. And your why can change. And if your why changes and the reason you're doing something changes and you never change your approach, you feel this disconnect, this overwhelm. And I just started to feel like I wasn't making a difference because I wasn't using my gifts and talents where they needed to be used and in the way they needed to be used. And my language wasn't coming across correctly. So it's been really nice to just, not just find, but rediscover my why and remind myself of that purpose and what I'm doing. So what is it about coaching or being a part of this team that drives you? What moves you, that stirs you, and why did you say yes to be here in the first place? Why do you say yes to be on these team calls and to be on those live workouts on Saturday morning if that's the only one you can get? I told Lori, I said, I think you just need to change your work hours so that she can jump on with us because we've enjoyed her Christmas break and Jacqueline's too. But so the main thing is even when we truly love what we do or the cause, the work, and I hear it all the time, it isn't always sexy is what they say. The daily work can become a grind. It can become a hustle. And so you really have to work and fight to stay centered in that mission. And that's where we get off center, is when we lose sight of that mission and we're not driven by the mission. We might be driven by Success Club points. We might be driven by a Success Club gift. We might be driven by a trip or someone else's goals, and I really want to make our mission not about that. So people are inspired by a mission-driven leader. And so I personally want to be a mission-driven leader so that I can inspire you to be one. Because people work for a what? People will work for a what, but will give their lives for a why. And it's true. Like, you see people fight all these different causes. I love Christine Kane. I love Lisa Prevere. There's a couple other ones out there right off the top of my head. Those are the two that stick out. But they go into these third world countries and put their lives at risk to rescue women in the sex traffic industry. like they will give their lives for that, and that is their why. And that's their mission, is to end sex trafficking and human trafficking and slavery. And so sometimes our mission is driven by something that happened to our family, or something that happened to us, or like my grandma passed away from pancreatic cancer and type 2 diabetes. So that's always really driven me to not let that happen to my family. I hated seeing that happen to her. And the more I realized what diabetes was, that became more of my mission and my desire that drove me to help people stop dieting and actually start taking care of themselves for a different reason and a different purpose. So I'll go more into my personal mission, and so that everyone is real clear on mine. And I'm going to actually open that up in the team group page, so that if you want to go live in there and share your mission and what drives you or your why. It's the new year, so maybe maybe you need to sit down and refocus on that, or rediscover yours, or just share it, just to step out and be a leader. All right, so why does it even matter? Because you produce what you are. So why does it matter to me? It's because I don't want to produce an annoyingly insecure leader. I don't want to, I want to help us be more strategic. I want us to be more consistent, and I want us to be mission driven. I want that for us as a team. So it's got to start with me. And if I want a strong team, I have got to become a centered leader. And I know many of you have your own teams. So I know that this is just as important to you as it is to me. And then at the very end, I wanted to ask you guys, out of those three, I'm going to go back to this page right here. Out of these three, inward confidence, strategically consistent, mission driven, out of those three, which one do you feel like you really need to hone in on the most, to help you feel more like a centered leader? Do you need to be more mission driven? Have you really lost that sense of why you do what you do for yourself, even if it is for yourself, even if it's not to lead a team, even if it's just to step up and lead your own life? How can you be more strategically consistent in your own health and fitness journey, or at work, or at church? And then how can you gain inward confidence? Is it your confidence that you really need to focus in on? So, need to grow more in confidence, be more consistent, rediscover your passion, be more mission driven. And what are you going to do about it? So once you kind of narrow down which one of those three you really think that you would need to focus in on the most, what are you going to do about it? So I really want to encourage you guys not to just sit back. I want you to step up, and I want you to realize that this is just an opportunity for you to do something about, now that you're aware of maybe where your weakest link is, if you want to call it that. And once you find that weakest link, that's just God like pricking your heart, and so that you can grow. That way you can lean in on him. Once I realized some of these weaknesses, I was like, okay, well, what does the Bible say about that? Let me go to scripture, and let me look at devotions and devotional plans and things like that that are specific to leadership, and as with insecurity, because sometimes I used to get on these calls and be like, well, I'm not real confident, or I'm not real sure, and then I would just talk myself down. So it can all, it doesn't always have to be someone that's super confident and cocky and overbearing. It could be someone that's meek and, afraid. So I personally just wanted to stop talking bad about myself and always putting myself down and saying that I'm disorganized, or all these things that I've slowly learning to do, but they're bad habits to drop. So what am I going to do about it? Is I've got to grow, and I have got to find out what God says about those things, and not look at it as, oh, I just can't get it. I'm just still not there. Instead of beating yourself up for it, just say, thank you, God, that you brought this to my attention. And so that I can grow glory to glory, right? He intentionally is not going to leave us where we are. It's a good thing. and I love this. This is from a leadership book. You don't want to be a bunch of people, or you don't want to be around a bunch of people. I typed that wrong. You don't want a bunch of people around you just doing what they are told. You want people surrounding you that are inspired to do more, create something that matters, and to contribute to something that creates overall change. That's what we want. Like, I want each and every one of you that are around me to feel just as confident, just as secure and consistent and driven to use the God-given gifts and talents that you have right now to create something that matters, to contribute to something that creates overall change. So you are a leader. We talked about that earlier. Even if you're just a mom right now and you're leading your children, you are here to make a difference. And as a homeschooler, like, I can't think of anything better than leading my kids. That's probably my most important assignment from God right now, is to be a leader of my kids. All right. And this is a declaration that you can write down now, even though we're going to go in deeper this week. Like I said, I'll go live and then I'll just kind of share other things and give you a little action steps or assignments, maybe like once or twice a week, not tons. But I do want to go a little bit deeper into this because I know this is a lot of content in a shorter period of time. But you can write this out and start speaking this over yourself now. You know who you are. You know where you are going. You have a plan and you execute it consistently. You are all about the mission. You are about helping others become better and doing something that lasts. And this is my personal one, and I know it's true for all of you, so you can steal it. But you know who you are. You know where you are going. You have a plan, and you execute it consistently. You're all about the mission. You're about helping others become better and doing something that lasts. Eternal. All right. So remember that everything that you do has an eternal impact. So become a little more centered and people will love to follow you. We do want people to follow us so that we can help them become leaders. But there you go. That's the one that says thank you. All right. So thank you guys so much for being on here. And I'm going to stop screen sharing because I can see your faces again. Hello. It feels weird because once that was big on my screen, I couldn't see you guys anymore. All right. So I feel like a robot when I have those graphics up, but it keeps me on track. See that? I didn't go all over the place. I didn't ramble. Woo-hoo. Okay. And it was pretty. All right. So any questions, any aha takeaways, anything you would like to add? Other than almost making me cry.
Like, that was very good. It really helped me see a lot of areas that, or see the areas that I needed to work in as a leader. Because like I've told you before, is I have several people, several coaches, and I don't feel like a leader at all. I feel horrible. I feel like I'm not leading, guiding them. I'm not helping them. And I need to get centered in that area so that I can be a better leader for them so that they can grow their business if that's what they choose to do.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah, and you actually kind of inspired this call because you're like, we were just talking like while we were cleaning house that day or something, and you're just like, I just need to know what to do with my team. I want to, and Jill would be the first person to tell you, like, you can't make them do anything, but, the thing is if you know you're doing all that you can and you just keep growing yourself, and Kat tells me this all the time, Janice, they're seeing the changes that you're making and they will do that too. Because I was just telling Jill, I said, as a leader, everything that I learn, I want to just turn around and teach you guys. But at the same time, if I'm learning something and I don't know if it works yet or not, I don't want to teach you the wrong thing either.
Right.
And at the same time, it's really, I just don't want to be so far ahead of everyone. And I got to remember that that's God's job, not mine, to meet you where you are. But just know that if I'm if I'm taking my own advice from this call, just know that I am. But as we take that advice from the call and we start implementing it, the whole point is just to grow and be a better person overall. And that's why I said we're all leaders. So you can just put, if you don't feel like a leader and that kind of scares you, just, okay, put person. To be a more centered person, to be a more centered mom, that all applies.
A more centered friend.
Yes, a more centered friend, a more centered spouse. So, and I mean, it really did open my eyes to see, I don't want, because of my where it showed me where my insecurities were. I was like, wow, that is what I'm putting off, and that's definitely not what I want to put off, right? Because
same here.
I'm not the type of person that feels better than anyone else, but I'm definitely not insecure and don't believe in myself. But what you say is what you portray. So if you don't catch your words, right, that insecurity of sharing words or changing your belief about how you feel about yourself, if you don't change that, then no matter what you really feel will never portray to other people. And that was the biggest one, is I remember Melissa McAllister told me one time, and not just, she just didn't come out and say this, you guys, but I was doing an assignment. I think it was for Courageous Confidence. It asked, go to someone that you know and appreciate, you trust them to give you honest feedback, and say, what were your first impressions of me? And just see what people think of you. So you have a place to move from and gain the confidence in that area. And so I asked her, and she said, aloof. And I was like, what's that? And I literally had to go look it up, and I still don't even really remember, but it wasn't nice. I don't remember what it was. But that is a part of that inconsistency, because I would see one person doing that, I'd go do that, and then I'd go do this. And so that's that inconsistency. I'm pretty sure aloof means kind of like all over the place, undecisive maybe. And so that is definitely a coming across, even if I don't want to feel that way, what you say and how you do things will come across that way. And it really doesn't matter what other people think, unless you're trying to get people to trust you and know you and like you, and you want to be authentic and you're leading from your heart. And again, that goes back to the mission part. Like, what are you driven by? And I know that this team is driven by way more than Beachbody, way more than Shakeology, way more than all of that. It's so much more than that. That just so happens to be a tool that we use. My brother is doing huge things. Like, I just love watching all his posts and seeing God transform him. He doesn't know that God's transforming his life, but he is. And so it's just awesome to see my own brother, who is not a Beachbody coach, but still health and fitness saved his life. Mm-hmm. Period. Like, he was going down the wrong path, like many people do, and God met him where he was in health and fitness and turned his life around. And now he's quoting me. I'm like, you stole that from me. But he wasn't listening. He wasn't even listening to me back then. Right. When I started this, like, my mom, myself, my sister, we still played an influential part of where he is today, because we are leaders. Everything you do, people are watching you. And so which direction do you want to lead them? And
he felt left out. Yeah. Because we were all in this, even, like you, Talia, and Stephanie, were all three in there with me, all of us doing the same thing, in the fitness thing, and he felt left out. And he would come over here and, talk to me and stuff like that. And we would talk to him about getting started on the business and stuff like that. But, God had a different plan for him. Mm-hmm. So he went a different route, and that's fine, because that's what he needed. That's exactly where he needed to be. And he's doing an amazing job. But it's out of that desire of wanting to be a part of what we were being, God was able to work on him. And it was like really amazing.
Yeah. And that's exactly
something you never know, though. I mean, like, eventually he could use Beachbody as a tool,
right,
and join the team. I mean, because he's already in that industry, so he could offer more to his clients, or it would just broaden things. So you never know. He could end up joining y'all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll leave that to God.
Yeah, yeah. And what's cool is like he went and got his personal training certification, and he's working at a really nice gym there in Jeff City or Columbia.
Columbia.
Yeah. And I mean, he's always had confidence, always like top confidence.
He seems like my type of person.
Oh yeah, yeah. He is. He's very blunt, and it's just when you know as a Christian and you see someone with all that potential and it's going in the wrong direction, all you can do is pray that God like. And so, again, you're a leader. And so might as well just own up to it and just get a little bit more centered.
Yeah. And
everybody's watching us.
Yeah. I think that, a lot of things have been coming to me. The Lord's been speaking to me a lot about about alignment. And I think that what I notice in a lot of my coaching clients is that they need to get aligned with their identity and their purpose, back in Christ. Even people who are believers and who have been believers for years have gotten off track. And like you're talking about the mission, like their purpose, their why, and they need something for them. And so if they're not aligned with their purpose, and their calling and all that kind of stuff, then they're not going to be confident, because like you said, it's not going to be authentic. And so it's just going to be fake, and it's not going to attract anybody. And then they're going to feel worn out and crappy. And so, yeah, I mean, you can't lead if you're not coming from an authentic place and a centered, aligned place. So you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so easy to get off, especially if you don't notice it and you're not aware of it, I mean, there's been many times I was like, oh my gosh, being an elite team would be so awesome. But as soon as that thought comes in my head, I'm not a ruby. I don't know if you guys know the jewel test, but there's an emerald, which is a very type A type of person, very detail oriented, needs everything typed out, lined out.
Danny Johnson.
Yeah, like OCD, right? Yeah. And then Ruby is a very disciplined, and they strive for the number one spot. They're very competitive. So a Ruby is very competitive nature. And then you have opals, which are very introverted and, they don't like to rock the boat. And then you have a sapphire, which is me, which is outgoing and bubbly, just wants to have fun. I don't want to do the hard work. Just let me play. So
that was always mine. Mine was sapphire and emerald. And people used to swear I was a ruby. And I'm like, nope, I'm not. It's crazy.
I mean, there's I know what you mean, because there's times when you're like, oh, there's a goal and I want to reach it, but that's not what drives me. So,
right.
I think that's why whenever I would go for elite or whatever, then everything switches, because elite is based off of you performing under me. And you performing under me should not be to hit elite. You performing under me should be because you want to do it for you and your family, your why, your mission. And so as a leader, I think that's been really hard for me to pass down. I'm learning how to do that. Because I'm not the type of person that wants you to do it for me. We all know that, but how do you do that in a way? And so I think it's just that I kind of have more of a culture of women that just really care about people. And if we're supposed to be an elite team, that's just something God's going to bless. It's not something that we're going to force. And there's a lot of teams out there that are elite and they forced it, and that's okay. There's this big wide road that everyone could be on, and we choose to be on the narrow, right? So, and I think that's just the way of the world. We live in it, right? And we can get so distracted, like Kat was talking about the shiny doors, the little doors she had, go through this door first and finish this door before you go into the other ones, because there's just so many little different shiny things out there. And then the other part of me that says, if I tell you that Success Club doesn't matter and elite doesn't matter and all of that, then you won't be successful as a business owner too, because those are the markers that the business is put in place to help you see that you're making progress. But that has to be something you desire to do first. And all I can do is teach you how to do that if that's your desire, So just hopefully you guys see the growth in me and see my desire to help you grow as well. And no matter what area. And that's another thing that I really like about being in some of these other communities as we build our community. I love it that they just give. Like, they don't care if you're buying from them or not. Like, I just like that they're giving. They want to see you be successful in whatever area that you're working in. So I'm not going to go into details because I'm hoping that one day Lori will be able to share with us. But Lori wants to help women and kids in a whole nother way outside of health and fitness, and she has been able to plug into this community and gain the confidence to see herself in that position. She did the Rise Up Vision Board party with us. She didn't even want to be in it. She's like, I don't know what that is, and that scares me. I don't want to be in it. Right?
And she rocked it.
and yeah, tell me what you did. So I added you, and how many days did it take you to catch up? Like 1, 2?
About 2 days maybe to catch up. Yeah. But I wasn't going to do it. Like, I seen all the talk about it and everything, and I thought, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. It's too deep for me. I'm not ready for that. And so one of my things that I'm working on is self-confidence, and fear keeps me from a lot of growth. So this year, anything that I am fearful of doing, I'm just going to do it. So I'm just going to tackle it and do it. So I was like, okay, I don't want to do this, so I'm going to do it. So I did it.
That pumps me up to hear people say that. That pumps me up. I love it.
Yeah.
Way to go.
So I didn't want to do it, yes. And so I didn't want to do it. I was too scared. I said, okay, so because I'm scared and I don't want to do this, I'm doing it. So I did it. And the whole time I'm doing it, I've got that voice telling me, oh, what have I gotten myself into? How can I get out of this? I'm stuck on this. This is stressing me out, and I shouldn't be stressed out. And so I would talk to Janice about it, and she'd help me. And our group the other day after we worked out and we talked, that helped me a lot. So, but I just have to keep telling myself every time I hear that voice, I just fight it. I'm like, nope, this is because the enemy does not want me to do this, so I need to do this. Mm-hmm. So I'm staying in it, and I'm going to get it done. And I did. I'm proud of myself.
That's awesome. Something, you sound just like me. I wasn't always confident and cocky, I guess what you could say. How I am. I wasn't so bold at all. I mean, I had a lot of, issues in my childhood and stuff that kind of by the enemy definitely had to do with that a lot. And so I was so fearful of speaking in front of people and all that kind of stuff. But Beachbody really pushed me out of my comfort zone. And I remember the first time I went to go teach a class, and I almost chickened out, and I was like, I can't do this. And I was crying. And my friend who owned the gym, she was like, Jill, she goes, remember this feeling because you're never going to feel it again. And she's right. Like, I did the class, and it was like ripping a Band-Aid off. And it gets easier. The more you push yourself and do crap that scares you. And that's how I had to get over it too. Cause I wasn't always like this, and people don't realize that. They think that it just came naturally to me. I had to learn it. So good for you. Good for you.
I'm proud of you, Lori. Yes.
Yeah.
I need to quit being so darn fearful.
Yeah. Hey, I can help y'all with that.
I'm a very insecure person.
Or whatever. Whoop y'all into shape.
I don't know who all may know this or not, but I'm a very, very insecure person. I always have been, even since I was a little kid. And I know I've come out a lot. I know that Beachbody has actually, like all of this and all of you all, our groups have actually helped me come out a lot, but I'm still extremely, extremely fearful of doing things. And I feel very insecure about my knowledge of things. And I'm not as brave as you, Lori. I keep saying, I'm going to go live in my group. And then it's like, no, I'm not.
I think you would do wonderful doing a live. You speak so great in these groups. when we're
What?
talking and conversating. Just, I mean, and if people
agree.
in your group, right, aren't they already, I mean, they're already kind of like letting you lead them and looking up to you and wanting the information. So you just have to, and I think you're way knowledgeable. I think you're great. I wouldn't have guessed you were shy about that at all. I really, you don't show it.
I think you also know more than you think you do.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're a great speaker. I love listening to you.
Oh wow, you guys, that's confidence, but not for me.
I love your knowledge.
I don't know who y'all's talking about. It's not me.
I really do. Like I love your posts and things that you talk about. Like you are knowledgeable. It's really helpful.
Well, thank you.
And
I did have a compliment from one of the girls that's in my group tonight. She messaged me, and right before we got off, she's like, "I just want you to know, thank you so much for the group. I really appreciate everything you post in there." And I'm thinking, yeah, she's just like, trying to make me feel good. That's how I felt. I said, and I'm like, well, I really appreciate it. It's good to know that somebody's, interested in what I'm posting. And she's like, oh yes, it helps me out. She's like, I check it out every day. I may not always compliment or comment, but I check it out every day because you always have such good information.
You do.
And I have actually, because I haven't had a lot of interaction here lately, I've started feeling like I'm doing something wrong. They're not interested anymore. And my posts have actually kind of like started slacking.
Yeah. And that's why this is so important. As a leader, you have to be consistent because the enemy is going to make you think what you're doing doesn't matter, but what you do does matter, right? So it's speaking what is true over your life. And this is why God cares about all areas of our life, because it's biblical truth over everything that you're doing as a leader, as a disciple, however you want to put it. I don't care what word you use, as a parent, mom. And that's why I want to do another one where we declare the truth over us. And you're going to type it up, kind of like the one I shared. I am this, I am. And you're going to start speaking that over yourself, not just what you want,
but what you are.
What you are, who you are, and whose you are. Yep. Yes.
Got it right here.
Good. Because, and you're going to change that, and you're going to keep building onto that list. That was just to kind of get you started. Because what you said earlier is you're just saying that to make me feel good. Yes, they are saying it to make you feel good. You deserve to feel good.
Yeah, but it's the truth.
You deserve to be built up. People need to start speaking up more about how someone else makes them feel, whether that's good or bad. And people are letting people treat them poorly. You never speak up and say anything. And then we have people that are doing good and never feel like they're making a difference. And then when someone does say, good job, you're like, oh yeah. So then we are we're repelling that. It's like
that's what I do.
Putting up a block, and now we don't even see it when people do a little hint here or there because we're
that's me. That's me. That's me to a T.
Yeah. And I used to do that too because I didn't want in a certain degree I'd do that because words of affirmation, like when people start talking about like me, it just makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And we're all going to be like that. But that's the enemy trying to make you feel like you are not what that person is saying you are,
Yeah. Typically, if you think about it, somebody won't say something unless they really mean it. I mean, I know for me, I'm not afraid to hurt your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm saying it to you, then it's good. Let me tell you. But most of the time, people won't even waste their time, you know what I mean, letting you know. So
when they do, yeah.
Receive it.
Yes.
Yes. Receive it. Like, you can't be a good giver unless you're a good receiver. Think of it that way. Receive what they said to you and just own it.
Yes. Very true. Very true. Oh, that was perfect. Yes, you can't be a good giver if you don't receive. You were breaking up. Everybody heard her say that?
I heard that part, but yes, she was freezing up and I couldn't hear everything.
Okay, I just didn't want that to not be heard.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's all right, yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. No, I
said just own it.
Yeah.
Receive it and own it.
Yes, own it. Own it fitness.
Well, thank you all. I really appreciate it. That helps.
Anybody else feel like something that just really want to share about the call or off topic, or floor is open?
Come on.
Come on.
Jacqueline over there looking at her mute button.
Hey, Christy, what about you, my love?
Well, I'm definitely trying to get out of my comfort zone.
Oh, we're going to make that happen, honey.
Yeah. And start doing, videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
post-
In our team page, we're gonna start. We're gonna be doing some. I'm gonna be doing some Zoom meetings like this, a team call each month as well. I mean, you guys can plug into this one, but then I'm gonna do some training and stuff in ours, and that's definitely gonna be one of the things. And you and I, we can get on a Zoom together and work on some stuff. I mean, just like this, but one-on-one if you'd like.
All right.
Anytime.
Your posts are really inspiring, Christy. I love your post.
Thank you. I love yours too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, Jacqueline, you tried to say something earlier, but I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
I think it's because my phone is dying.
There you go. We can hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay, I unplugged it. I just was gonna say the only thing I'm really gonna try to work on is using that Canva app to try to make my vision board pictures and all, because I tried to do it and it's different from the way the website looked from the video that you and Angel did. So we'll see. I might have to pull out the laptop.
So I just, if it's like a square image, I can do them on my phone from Canva app. But whenever it's a lot of different things, your laptop is your best friend for Canva. It just is so
I
much.
couldn't figure out how to make them smaller to fit more on. Sometimes I'm technically challenged anyway. So
don't make it harder on yourself by trying to use your phone. Yeah, I mean it's free on your laptop just like it's free on your phone. And what I like about it is I'll actually make things on my laptop Canva. I like that I can still see it on my phone. So if I'm out and about, I'm like, oh, I have that. I could pull it up right now and, tweak something. And so I have access to it because of the apps on my phone, but I really don't ever do like a project on Canva on my phone. I do a lot of other apps, WordSwag, PixArt, that kind of thing, but Canva. So once you open it up on your laptop, you're like, oh, it's like so many.
I know, and you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
I'm going to wish I had that as an admin.
Oh, I have all free. I don't pay for it.
Nice.
Right, Jill? We don't pay for it. So she came over to my house and we were making some graphics for some t-shirts and we liked this cross. And so some of them you pay like $1 for them. So we bought this cross and we used it on all these graphics and you get that cross for a day, like 24 hours for $1. You can use that cross in everything. So we had signed up her debit card on there. Well, then just like last month or so, I noticed that they had a new Canva 2.0 and you get free 30-day trial. And then I said, within the 30-day trial, you can add admins like mentors or someone that can. So me and Kat were working on a project together and all of a sudden she's like, I'm getting charged, charged $20-some $30 for a free 30-day membership. So everything that I do, I don't pay for. If I do see something like for $1, I'll just pay the $1 and make a whole bunch of graphics with it, blank graphics with that one image if I need it, But
they're only good for like 24 hours.
Yeah, but almost everything is on there is free. Almost everything's free. I'd say 85-90% of it's free. And then how they make their money, since the whole program's free, how they make their money is they have really nice graphics that are a little bit more. And you could pay pro to unlock everything all the time, or you could just buy one individual thing, and then you can use that for 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of free stuff. It's worth just downloading it and using all the free stuff. I do it all the time.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll see like something I like that's $1. I can go online, Google it, download that picture, upload my free picture into Canva and use it. and it looks the exact same thing. I'm like, I'm not paying $1 for some glitter, you know? So, any other questions? Cammie, you still there? We're right at an hour. We did good. Well, 9 minutes over.
Yes, I'm still here. I can't get the thing unmuted.
Oh, I can hear you. Okay, the audio. All right, did you have any questions, love?
No, I'm good.
Okay, well, I'm glad you were able to make the call tonight.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? All right, well, I'm going to miss my workout buddies that go back to work tomorrow. Darn work.
I'm already 8 minutes past my bedtime.
Oh, I know. It's so funny. It's like when Lori's on the workouts, I'm like, okay, guys, hurry up. Lori's that type A, see? And so she makes me like, I'm running late. What's the little bunny on, what's his name? We're late.
Oh, on Alice in Wonderland?
Yes, I feel like that. I'm like, oh my gosh. So
I'm late.
And one thing I did forget to say earlier is congratulations to those of you that that signed up for Summit. I don't know if I said that or not. I think I typed it up there. I know Lori's going. And
Are they doing another deal?
Lori, you're going too?
Yes.
Yay. Are you going, Jacqueline?
No, I don't know that I'll be able to make it.
Aw. You're
I
gonna be there
really want to
tomorrow?
go, but I don't know. We'll
Do
see.
it. Do it.
Well, they do it every year, which is the great thing. So even if it's not, I mean, I remember I missed like my first one or two. Like I was so, so sad watching all that stuff happen and come in. But when the time's right, you'll know. And Jill, I don't know if I know they have something where if you do sign up for it and it's on sale, you have to say something like,
Who referred you?
Yeah,
Who
there's like a
referred you?
referral thing. So I don't know how that works, but like you can get a free workout if you refer one new coach,
At Summit.
new person to go to Summit. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I definitely recommend to any of you who have never been before, you should definitely go. I've been like, I think 3 or 4 times already. So you'll love it. It's really good for you to, it helps move along your business and stuff. And it's a lot of fun and you get to connect and meet the people that you've met online who live far away. And, for me, it's like a big party.
It is.
Well, I'm getting to go this time. It's my first time getting it to go because I've always my migraines always kept me from going before. It's like there's no way I could be around all that noise. Just no way. I would be in my room crying with my head covered up in a dark corner somewhere. But this past year, since I quit eating grains, my migraines have been completely, not totally gone, but much more manageable and stuff like that. I'm not on any medications or anything like that. And noise doesn't bother me as much as it used to anymore either. So I decided I was going this year. So I bought my ticket early and I am going. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah, you'll
I'm scared too.
Well, Jill, do you think are you like 50-50? You don't know, or?
What's the date again? I don't know if I can go.
July 10th, 11th, and 12th. Is that right? 11th, 12th, and 13th? No, I can't
11th, 12th.
Yeah, we're going to Destin in June this year. So like we're actually going earlier. We got our house for the 15th. We already got it. And so yeah, usually we go in like August, but I didn't know. I thought Summit was in June for some reason.
No, it's July. It was June last year though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. That was the first time they ever did it in June was last year. It's always been in July, so I don't know what the deal was with that.
Oh, wait a minute. Where is it supposed to say what day it is? I'm in the group.
But yeah, it's 11, 12.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go. I don't know.
The reason I want you to go is so that I can see you. Otherwise, you're gonna have to come see me before.
I know. I'm trying to get my ticket to go to Australia next month.
Oh, okay. What's in Australia?
Well, For one, I have a client that lives there and she invited me to come. She lives in Victoria. And then I did talk to one of my cousins who she travels around a lot. She was the one that was married to that Major League Baseball player.
Mhm.
So she has money out the wazoo, and she told me she was going to go spend a month there in February. But I'm still kind of waiting on her because I think she's going to stay in the Sydney area, and I want to go to Queensland and go and swim the Great Barrier Reef and do all that stuff. And Victoria is about 5.5 hours driving wise from Sydney. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to coordinate all of it, but there's some really good deals because it's their summertime right now.
Oh, okay.
So
Their summer over there.
yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
well, yeah. Enjoy that.
I'm a little concerned about how I'm going to get to the summit this year because Tina moved away. You moved away.
Tina.
You fly.
She lives in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Tina?
Yeah, she's in Florida now.
You should all go visit her.
I know. I want a team retreat in Florida. I already told her and Kat. I was like, okay, we need to plan a team retreat in Florida. I'll
Yep.
go down there and visit you.
I am in agreement to that.
All right, ladies.
Florida's not all it's cracked up to be.
I love Destin.
Anywhere there's sandy beaches and palm trees, I'm down.
I know. I want to go back to California.
Yeah, I'll go there with you too.
Yeah, and I have never been there either. I need to go there. We should do that too. That'd be fun.
Long Beach is nice. I like California a lot better than Florida.
Hi, baby girl.
Hi, Janice.
Hi, baby girl. How was your Christmas?
That was awesome.
What'd you get?
I got an electric scooter.
I did see that. That's your favorite?
And I got some paints. And I got chalk.
And
Play-Doh.
books and
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh, lots of stuff. Just
Awesome.
science kits.
Woo!
Awesome.
You have to tell the boys hi.
Where is Peyton and Justin? Where are they?
Justin is at a friend's house here at the apartment complex, and Peyton is playing Fortnite. Yeah, and Chris, he
Get him!
No, she can't get him. We're back.
Chris is watching
See what?
the drug cartel shows, all the Netflix on the drug cartel. So he thinks he is Pablo Escobar. And so he walks around speaking Spanish. And yeah, he's been watching Narcos since Christmas break. And he drives me bananas because then he's like, and I'm like, stop. It's very annoying, and he thinks he's hilarious. And now he's got his permit to carry his gun, so he walks around, like the Wild Wild West, where they pull out their gun really fast, like.
Get him.
Stop it, Berkeley.
Oh my God. He's like a 10-year-old in a 44-year-old body. He really is.
I think that's most men. Most men are.
But the older he gets, the worse it gets.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And Tommy's been watching that show, too.
Oh, we were addicted. We were like, oh my gosh, when are they going to get him? I got away again? I'm like, oh my gosh, who's he going to kill this time? I'm like, oh. Crazy. But
I've been watching those Bible movies on there.
oh my gosh, I watched this one. I stayed up way too late watching this one. I can't even think the name of it, but they were Russian. It was like both of their names started with an S, so it's in a different language.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen that one yet, but.
Oh, it's so good. It's like,
Is it?
where there's no nudity in it. There's no, there's romance, like real, like courting people. But then there's like this plot twist where this guy's jealous of, his girl. And so I just loved it. It was so good. And then I get so caught up.
just reminds me, Versailles. Oh my gosh. I started watching Versailles and I was like, oh, even I don't do that.
Versailles.
Yeah, Versailles was
I haven't seen that. I don't think.
you probably don't want to watch it. Like, the one night I turned it on, I was kind of watching somebody try to like skim through some of that stuff. I was like, cheesy Louis, but I
Yeah.
fell asleep and left the TV on.
Oh, wake up.
But that one was a little risque,
Yeah.
more than a little risque.
What the Tudors? You know who is that what it's called, Jill? Those were good, and they were a little raunchy in some places. But he's gonna kill another wife. All right, here we go. Who's he gonna behead next? Like,
Yep, King Henry, right?
yes, that one. It's like, oh my god, like, is that true? How much they change, like the Pope and like the Roman Church and all of that. It's just crazy how one king made so much change and how easy it was.
It's crazy. I'm such a history buff. I loved when that came out because I was just like, I know the story. Like I studied that stuff all the time, and Mary, Queen of Scots, and
Yes.
Queen Elizabeth, and King Henry VIII, and yeah, I love stuff like that for sure.